Hello, good mornings. I'm Dr. Teresa. Let me introduce myself. I finished my MRCPCH, AKP, and FOPTAS in 2021. I finished my DCH in 2022. It is my pleasure to introduce myself and to give my knowledge to the community. I would like to explain to you about the structures of MRCPCH theory exam and how it is okay for you to prepare for this exam. So for the MRCPCH clinic theory exam, there are three parts: FOP, TS, and AKP parts. There is one additional degree you can get if you finish a FOP exam. You can take the TCH clinical exam, and then after you finish, you can get a diploma in child health degrees. So these degrees is good, especially for those who want to work as a GP, and also has a special interest over the child health. Okay, so let's move to the FOP parts. Generally, the FOP assess the candidate knowledge, and it is more related to the clinical knowledge, how you formulate the diagnosis. It is not too much difficult compared with TAS for me personally, because TAS is more related to the basic science or pathophysiology and anatomy, those kind of thing. The FOP, usually the paper, it lasts for 2.5 hours. And then the questions are, many of the questions are single best answer questions, and they have some extended merchant questions there. Please keep in mind that in 2024 Diet 3, they have a plan to make some changes in terms of the exam format for FOP and TAS. But for the sake of today's meeting, I'm going to mention the structures that is still valid until Diet 2. What is TAS? TAS, as I've mentioned, is assess your basic science knowledge. So it's involve a kind of pharmacology questions, and then also some ethic questions, statistic questions. It can be a little bit difficult, but many of the candidate can pass this exam once they know how to prepare well. It also involved 2.5 hours, the paper involved, and it is also included a single bus answer and extended machine questions. Okay, so there's a syllabus for FOP and TAS. So the majority of questions came from dermato, DM, endocrine, emergency, hemato-musculoskeleton, neonate, nephro, nutrition, and pharmacology. And some questions can come from adolescent medicines, cardio, psychiatry. So you can find those kind of syllabus from the RCPCH website, and then you can prepare well ahead that at which topic you need to specifically focus more, that can give you more coverage in the exam. For the TAS, again, the syllabus, those kind of hot topics, systemic, like cardiology, endocrine, genetic, hemato, metabolic, nephro, neuro, those are the very hot topic for the TAS. They can also be 30% can also come from the other parts that I've mentioned here. So how do you start preparing for this theory part of the exam? The important part is that sample paper is the most important. And again, you can the other important book for preparation is the clinical cases book. It is what RCPCH also printed out this test book, and you can search in the many social media platform group. You can get those book for free, and each test book has nearly 50 cases. And each cases, they have explained everything in too detail, and that is really great for you to get a proper knowledge on specific topics. And another thing is that you can also collaborate with the test book that you like to take. For example, some people like to use that illustrated test book. Some people like to use I think Nelson is not a good one for the MRCPCH exam. Illustrated test books or sometimes concise pediatric test books, some people like to use it. So whichever one you find it useful, you can use the test book for to collaborate some basic knowledge. Of course, the most important thing is a group study, daily practice. These are the most important in order to success in this exam. For the FOP exam, there is a test book that you can use, like there's a past test. However, many people say that past test is not that much important, but it gives you a general ideas about how to manage your time, how to read in timely manners, those kind of thing you can practice. So I suggest past test. If you have time, go for it. And you can also you must read the record probably and sample a paper. That is very important. Guideline book is very important, not just for the theory, but also for the later parts of clinical exams or also in your day-to-day life. Guidelines are very important. In the test book, you can use illustrated test book, clinical cases, FOP is a mess. And for the ethical station, you can use Science of Practice. And this book is very good and it has too many pages. For me personally, during my preparation, I could not read all the thing from that test book. So what I mainly use is the box, and I read the box carefully, and that is really important for my exam. TAS, they can be books called Science of Practice. This book is good for pharmacology and statistics. Those kind of thing is good. And then you can use survival guide. I'm sorry, there is also one test book that you need to read. We call it as a basic science test book. These test books is very important for TAS, and of course sample paper and past test. If you have time, you can use it. So what is very important for this theory exam is that you need to know about how to answer the questions well. So it is important that you know the questions very well, and you need to read it very carefully. Of course, time management is very important. Some papers, they fail the exam not because of lack of knowledge, but because of their poor time management. And that time management probably goes with your reading skills. Sometimes they give the questions that you need to read a lot, and this will take your time. If your reading skill is not speedy, it will take your marks. And that's why you need proper reading skill, skimming and scanning techniques. Of course, trust your instincts. If you think that this answer is most likely, probably go for it. Do not make changes. And then you need to get some time after you finish. There should be some time to recheck your answer, and that is very important, because sometimes we make the silly mistake, and only after we recheck it we know that it's a mistake that we should not make. So it is very important to set aside some time. Okay. So the other people asked me that how to open the RCPCH account. Probably it is not that much difficult. You go to the RCPCH website and you just click the open the account sections, and you need to give your full name, date of birth, and if you are going to use the passport, your full name should match with your passport names, and then you submit it. Later they will verify you, they will ask you for the primary medical qualification certificates. Once you give it and they accept it, you can apply for the exam. I hope these meetings give you a brief ideas of what is MRCPCH theory exam, and I would like to encourage all who is interested in pediatric that if you're really interested in pediatric, go for the MRCPCH exam. It is really internationally recognized, and it is privileged to get these degrees. Of course, studying is really difficult. It might be messy, but the end is the gorgeous. So please work hard. Thank you so much.